The Adverts were an English punk band. They were formed in 1976 and existed until 1979. And they're best known for their hit single Gary Gilmore's Eyes, which was controversial for its subject matter, but also one of the first, if not the first, punk song to reach the UK charts. They were on the forefront of punk and the breakthrough of punk into the mainstream. They were also known for their bassist, Gay Advert, who is hailed as being the first female punk star. Hi, my name's Dan, and this video is a review of the album Crossing the Red Sea with the Adverts by the Adverts, which was the first of their two albums and was released in 1978, and it's my first time listening to it. I have heard of them, and I know the track Gary Gilmore's Eyes, which is not on this album. So this is punk, mostly. I would claim that there are a couple of tracks here that have some of the first stirrings of goth in them. I'll come back to that in a minute. So most of it's got this kind of basic feel, which is the hallmark of punk. We've got guitars, bass, drums, and singing. It's got this slightly ragged feel. It's energetic. It's got a slightly lo-fi feel to the recording, which is interesting given it's actually recorded at Abbey Road, which was at the time probably one of the highest fi studios around in the world. And it's got this generally musical feeling of we can play, but not brilliantly. You could do this, which is all part of the whole punk ethos and punk charm. It's a very live feel, and I suspect that they didn't do a lot of takes and overdubs. They just kind of went in, played, and then did the mixing, etc. afterwards, which is what happens. There's the occasional track, though, like Bombsight Boy, which pulls it back more, makes it less energetic and more menacing. And this is what I meant by the first stirrings of goth. And I can hear elements of, not that I'm, a huge expert in this stuff, but I can hear elements of Susie and the Banshees style stuff coming in just a little bit here. Musically, I found it fairly enjoyable. Actually, I'd say that compared to some punks, the guitar sounds are a bit less piercing and more kind of rock based. And occasionally, I kind of almost had this kind of, maybe this is slightly descended from rock and roll kind of feel to it, just in the way that it was structurally put together musically. Singing, the guy's called TV Smith. He's got a clear and fairly high voice that cuts through. It's got a real punky feel and intensity to it. Reminded me of Hazel O'Connor, if anybody knows who that is, another British punk person who had a real kind of intensity to her singing. So does TV Smith here. The songs are about, well, not love. Let's put it that way. Social commentary and disaffection, generally. Typical punk subjects, to be honest. There is a slice of deadpan humour kind of thrown in here, including the track One Chord Wonders, which was, I believe, about the fact that punk was being claimed as being, these people can't play very much, whatever. And there was... I can't remember who it was. They went on tour with somebody, and it was like, this man got 3 chords, and the Adverts only have one. They're the One Chord Wonders. It's not on one chord. They can play several. Anyway, Bored Teenagers, No Time to Be 21. They do have this kind of disaffected thing, but I feel like they're kind of slightly taking the mickey of it as well themselves in a very kind of British way. Some of the tracks might be about real events. I don't know. I couldn't find any extra information. So I'm not sure, for example, what Drowning Men is about. It sounds like the sort of thing that could be about some kind of event, but it could just be about a general feeling of despair. So I don't know. So I'm not a punk fan in any serious kind of way. I do like some punk. I have found that there is punk both sides of the Atlantic that I like, some that I dislike. And I did find this pretty enjoyable, actually, to be honest. It's possibly one of those albums that, reading about it, it seems like it might have quite a bit of historical significance, certainly in terms of the breakthrough of awareness of punk into the mainstream. If you're knowledgeable about this, please share your thoughts through the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I am pretty much determined in my reviews that whether I know about it or not, with historical significance and things like that, I'm more about the listening experience than about its place in influence. And uh, on this occasion, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's not my favourite punk, but it's far from my least favourite punk that I've come across. I would not, uh, have any um, objections to listening to this again. It's quite decent. So that's what I think. And it is just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think of this album, especially if you're a fan. But if you particularly dislike it, I'd still like to hear from you. If you agree with me or disagree with me, anything you want to say about the review, anything you want to say about the adverts, please do talk to me through the comments. But that's it from me for now.